guys, welcome to another episode of PB&J, which is our picture book and junior book review. I am Miss Emily. I work in the children's room at the Asheboro Public Library, and I am here with
Miss Sam, also from the Asheboro Public Library.
And I'm Miss Brenda from the Liberty Public Library.
All right. Do we want to start with our picture books?
Yeah, let's go with some picture books. If you don't mind, I'll pop in here first.
Yeah.
I've got We Became Jaguars, and this is a book by Dave Eggers with pictures by Woodrow White. And I'm going to try to get a good angle so you can kind of see that there's a lot of light glinting off of the cover, but the pictures are these beautiful pops of neon color, neon lime greens and pinks. So the story is about a grandmother who's coming to visit her grandson, and he's a little nervous because he hasn't met her since he was very, very young. So he hasn't seen her in many years, and she's coming to watch him. And she has this great idea where they're going to pretend to be jaguars. And he follows along and gets really into it. And then all of a sudden, they're completely transformed into jaguars. And the rest of the book is them playing with imagination, going through the jungle, hunting, deciding what they want to eat. And the pictures are just so vibrant and beautiful, and lime greens and hot pinks. And it's just a beautiful picture book about a boy bonding with his grandmother and expressing very imaginatively this journey that they go on. And then at the very end of the book, it's time for him to go back to school and go back to, real life. And his grandmother writes him a note with a little paw print because she decided to stay a jaguar. Now, did she really become a jaguar? Did they both really become jaguars? Who's to say? And that'll be up to you to decide. But it's just a beautiful picture book about bonding with your grandmother and spending time with your grandmother. And it came at a perfect time because my husband's great grandmother is turning 101 this weekend. So I thought it was just a beautiful book to celebrate our grandparents.
That sounds really sweet. And speaking of jaguars, Miss Emily seems to have one prowling across your screen.
Yes. You're not a jaguar. Yeah. Oh, here he is.
Oh, there he is.
All right. Goodbye, sir. He thinks I'm talking to him whenever I talk to anybody. All right, Miss Brenda, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go next?
Sure, I can go. I brought up a book called Carpenters Helper. I was excited when I saw this book that was getting ready to be released. This is by Sybil Rosen and Camille Garoche. And I think I was mostly excited about this because not only does it have a diverse family, but also it kind of goes against the all men making carpenter work and that kind of thing. And so really showing that women can do any kind of work and helping out. And so Renata's daddy is, or her poppy, as he's called, is helping finish a bathroom. And so she's helping him out. And they go to put in a new window. And she finds these neat things, and they cut open the wall, and she's helping with the wiring. But then they left the window open one evening, and who but should find the hole in the wall but those pesky little birds that always seem to find something. And so they come in and they build a nest in the bathroom. And so it's a sweet little story, not only about the little girl helping her dad, but there's this mommy bird and the nest, and she starts to lay eggs. And so they, of course, not only continue working on the rest of the bathroom, but then they actually watch the other family forming. And so she gets to watch the babies, and they come out and they hatch. And so it's this wonderful little sweet story about patience and waiting and watching mommy bird and talking. And so Renata and Poppy are talking about the birds, and they're playing. The baby birds get ready to start flying, and they're playing over the bathtub. And Renata ends up helping them because the baby birds end up getting stuck in the bathtub. So using her good building skills, Renata builds them a little ramp and she helps the family out. And then when the baby bird family all flies out, she and Poppy can keep working on the bathroom. So it's just this really sweet book about togetherness and being together, and then family, two different kinds of families, bird family, family, and then just kind of those gender stereotypes of men being carpenters. And here we have a sweet, beautiful little girl who's also a carpenter with her Poppy. So I really enjoy it.
That's awesome. They really are rare finding books that have little girls using carpentry skills. It's like just a 1%, you know.
Yeah.
I love that they're making more of those books.
Yeah,
Absolutely. All right. Well, today I brought Leopold's Leotard by Rhiannon Wallace. And this is about a boy named Leopold. He's right here. You can see he's looking a bit uncomfortable on the cover. But Leopold loves to dance. He's really good at dancing, and he'll do it anywhere he goes, at school. And then he also has dance classes where he learns to dance really gracefully. And at the end of every year, they do a year-end recital. And he's thinking, oh, maybe we'll get to be birds. But instead, they're bumblebees. And that's actually interesting because bumblebees dance to communicate. They can't say words and they can't do sign language like some of our friends. So they have to dance to communicate. Leopold's not really happy, but he's excited to do all the dances. So he practices really hard. You can see some of the steps over here. And he tries to remember all of the steps, but he's not really a fan of his dancing outfit. The leotard and the dance pants are kind of tight, and he feels like he can't do all the moves he practiced quite right. And so he starts to get a little bit of stage fright. And you can see here, he's looking really uncomfortable. He's not holding his hand. He's not getting into his dancing position. He can't remember the steps. He's so nervous. He feels so uncomfortable. So he starts to throw a bit of a tantrum. He kicks off his shoes. He takes off his bumblebee headband. He takes off his dance pants. He takes off his leotard. And then he can dance. He can run around and jump and can be a free little bumblebee. And he feels just like a bee on a flower. And he has never felt so free, even if he did shock his dance teacher and all of his dance friends. In the end, we can see all the confetti coming down. And in the back, we have a little disclaimer about bees that the author wrote because she said something about bees living in a hive, even though she knows they don't. And then she put a few facts about honeybees back here as well. And I grabbed this book because I think it's really cute. I like to see representation for boys in dance classes, because what would dances be, especially ballets, without boys? There's lots of girls, but the boys are just as important. And fun fact about me is I love to watch ballet, probably because I can't dance at all. So I brought 2 ballet books today.
I love that. That would totally be my son.
I know.
Dancing, and yeah, he would be the naked one probably running around because he doesn't want to wear the outfits. So that's funny. I love it. I actually
remembered all the moves after.
I have to think that would be a really fun story walk book out in the park. I might have to look at getting that.
That'd
be
That's pretty
good.
funny.
That'd be great. I saw you recognizing the boy in your eyes, Brenda,
Yeah,
as she was
exactly.
reading
Oh,
it. She was just like, that's mine.
Yeah, that was mine right there. Could you imagine what his mom felt like out in the audience? She's like, oh.
It's like,
Oh no.
yep,
Yeah, that's mine.
still proud.
He's doing the
So
moves.
proud.
Yay!
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
All right, we will move right along to junior books, and I'll pop in first. Today, I brought a very special book. This is Frozen 2, but this is a manga style Frozen 2. So for those
Wow.
of you who haven't seen Frozen 2, get on it. It's the best movie in the world. But also, it's just a story about Elsa. She's a queen. She's got frosty powers, and she goes on a journey to see where her powers come from. And that's the whole plot of the movie, pretty much the plot of this book as well. But it's drawn up in a manga style. So in a typical manga, which is like a graphic novel or a comic book that originated from Japan, and there's a lot of manga style that's really popular right now, which is why I wanted to introduce it. In typical manga books, I brought a typical one that's come from Japan. You read it backwards. So it's something that's very, very different to us. And we typically will open a book, from right to left. On a manga, you'll open it backwards and read it backwards to forwards. Now it's forwards to them in Japan, but it's backwards to us. Now, since this book and a lot of books that are coming out that are styled like manga, this will open regularly like a regular book in America. So it starts on the front page when you open right to left. And it goes through her journey, and it has this beautiful artwork and these beautiful themes about finding yourself and exploring your own power and standing up for yourself and standing up for your sister, your family, and your friends. It's just beautifully done. I love manga art style. It's all black and white and different shades of gray to save on printing, but also that is the style. And it's just beautiful. I just love it deeply, and I think you will too. And we've got a lot of different manga style books that are coming out into the junior graphic novel section, and a lot of older series that are continuing on in manga, like My Hero Academia and Dragon Ball Z, although Dragon Ball Z might be finished. But we've got a lot of different manga style and manga books in our graphic novel section at Ashburn Public Library.
They're also coming out with a lot of classical adaptations of manga. So like Anne of Green Gables, I think we might have a copy of Anne of Green Gables manga style.
Cool.
And then for older readers, I know this is our junior section, but for older readers, they have like Jane Eyre and Pride and Prejudice. And so if you're looking to kind of introduce reluctant readers to like the classics that you grew up with, then absolutely consider looking into like manga adaptations, because they kind of remind them of graphic novels. It has like that picture that's acting it out, but it also has reading in the dialogue and in some of the boxes that explain like thoughts and things like that.
That's excellent. That's a great point.
It's definitely something we're working on expanding here at Liberty. We've had more people asking about manga style books, so it's coming. We're working on it. I'll need all the help I can get from Miss Emily and Miss Sam. But one thing we are really working well on is Gisela Pacheco is our program coordinator. She started earlier this year, and so she has really been helping us expanding our Spanish and bilingual selections. And I don't really have like a book review, but 3 books we recently got are 3 Roald Dahl books in Spanish. And so we have Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, James in the Gigantic Peach, and Matilda. And I'm excited about these. There are a few programs in the area that have Spanish language for kids going up through upper elementary. And so we are starting to have more kids who are interested in reading into the next levels rather than just picture books. So we're trying to expand some of the high interest books that we have in English and then having them in Spanish as well. And the font and everything is not hard to read. Pretty big text and a pretty, easy to be able to pick out the basic words that you might be starting to read once you get into kind of J fiction level reading, and maybe having that comparison of English and Spanish too, if you're familiar with the with the text. So I'm pretty excited about expanding some of our, not just easy fiction and some of our easy readers, but also up into J fiction with Spanish and even some YA graphic novels in Spanish. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome. That's what we want to do too, like get some graphic novels in Spanish. Be great.
All right. Well, like I said, I brought 2 ballet books because I am missing watching the ballet right now. And I've seen all the ones that are on like streaming websites already. So now I'll read about it. But this is a middle grade novel called Turning Point by Paula Chase. And this is actually the 3rd in a trilogy called the So Done trilogy, but it can be read as a standalone. And what that means is that some of the characters might overlap, but you do not need to read book 1 or 2 in the So Done series to understand what's happening in this book, because the main characters in book 1 and 2 are not the main characters. Like book 1 characters aren't the same as book 2 characters and book 3 characters. So this is book 3. And this is about 2 girls, Rashonda and Monique, and they are best friends. But one of them is going off to a ballet intensive that they were admitted to. So that's kind of like a cool summer program, sort of, where you voluntarily go to summer school for something you really like. And so they're going to be apart for a little bit because she's going to be away at this school, and the other girl is going to be staying home. And they also have 2 very different goals given to them. One of them has to listen to all the strict rules that her grandma puts in place, while the other is told to just keep her head down, don't make waves, and do what she's told while she's at the ballet intensive. But it proves to be kind of difficult, especially without her best friend there. And what we start to see is that as a Black girl at a ballet intensive, there's not as much diversity in the ballet world as we might hope. So she starts to face a few issues while she's at this ballet intensive as like one of the only non-white students there. And so this story kind of follows coping with that, coping with sort of difficult parental, grandparental figures, and coming into your own, maintaining friendships when you can't be together, and sort of standing up for what you believe in. And that is Turning Point.
Awesome.
I wonder if the use of point has anything to do with ballet.
Oh, I absolutely they did. Yeah, there's like almost every ballet novel is like turning point, on point. That's the point. Like
surely there are other terminology from ballet that they can pull out too.
yeah, but none so like quickly recognizable to like people that aren't even like into ballet.
Pirouette. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great one.
Yeah.
That was awesome PB&J, everybody.
So thank you guys for joining us for another PB&J episode. We hope you consider checking out some of the books we recommended, letting us know what you thought about them, or possibly coming in to browse some of our new books. We are open for browsing now. We are also going to be starting our summer reading sign up for children soon. I know at the Asheboro Public Library, summer reading has already started for sign up. And then we're going to be starting our signups for our summer reading in the children's room on June 1st. And I believe Miss Brenda said Liberty is going to be starting in the next week or 2 as well for sign up. So just keep an eye on their Facebook page too if you want to sign up for Liberty's summer reading. And we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.